Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan.
Hey! Congratulations, by the way. I saw a post about you winning some award very recently.
Yes. And I was nominated. Thank you for my nominator. And some finalists for Singapore Silent Heroes, which made everybody laugh because Jerry's not very silent.
You make it sound like you weren't expecting this award because you've received so many awards.
Well, I think it's always that reminder to do better each time, right? Yeah, and it is also very heavy a responsibility. Every time, you receive an affirmation like that, it's like, okay, what else can you do? Yeah,
to be better.
Yeah.
Well, you are a hero. You're a hero to all of us, Dr. Gerald.
All of you are my hero.
Yeah, I mean, we've known you for like over 5 years, and every year you kind of like, you grow. And you achieve even more. Yeah, really.
We should, right?
Yes, that's the
You dress differently also every year,
which is great.
Yeah.
One of these days we need to do like a photo montage, the evolution of Dr. Jerry's dressing through the years.
Starting with that school photo of you and her.
That's
I want to see.
Yeah.
She should be calling me uncle. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so we're talking about catfishing today, right?
Yes. Last week I gave everybody a homework to watch Unknown Number, the Catfish musical.
It's called Unknown Number.
It's not a musical, is it?
I thought it was called the High School Catfish.
High School musical.
Sorry, Cha, I wasn't around last week. I didn't do the homework.
I was like, did they turn this into a musical?
No, the High School Catfish. Catfish. We're talking about catfishing and the Munchausen Syndrome today.
Okay, define catfishing in 20 seconds and then we'll continue this conversation on the Big Show TV.
It's creating an fake online persona to scam people.
Okay. All right. Now, when you say scam people, it doesn't necessarily mean financial scamming. It could be romantic scamming.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can be a few different kinds. Basically, they want to connect with people and they create this fake persona. So it can be romantic sort of catfishing. It could be financial catfishing. It can even be professional catfishing. So those on LinkedIn doesn't mean that everyone is a real persona behind that name or picture. Yeah, so we do need to be very careful. Yeah, social catfishing also. So those that you chat on Discord or you're gaming and somebody chats you up, a community. Yeah, so they can also be fake personas trying to just fish people to chat with them. It could be very innocuous, very innocent. I just want to chat with you. But it could also be something more sinister.
So kids that do a lot of gaming, because there are online communities that they're constantly chatting with, they got to be very careful as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because they don't know who's on the other side, and I don't know about this generation nowadays. They call everybody online their friends.
Yeah.
And I go like, huh? How do you know that they are real people? Oh, Auntie Jerry, I know that they're real. They're very nice to me. They keep chatting. I'm like, yeah. Have you met them? No, but we chat a lot.
Have you seen their face?
No. But we chat a lot.
Yeah. I blame social media, I blame, which one I blame? I blame Friendster. You remember Friendster years ago? That was the first social media app where all your contacts were considered your friends.
Yeah.
Friendster. Sounds kind of cool.
Well, you're not on
For
Friendster.
that time. No, it's not.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the very, very early ones of like MySpace and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you think people allow themselves or find themselves in situations where they get catfished?
Sometimes they are lonely. So the person that is doing the catfishing can be a lonely person. They may feel a little bit inadequate to face a person and chat with the person face to face.
As themselves.
Yeah, so they create this fake persona, an alter ego perhaps.
Lonely meaning horny or what?
Some of them, yes, and some of them can be very sinister where they can actually bait a person to have sex with them.
So it's not always with an ulterior motive. Sometimes it's just low self-esteem.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, you know, having that alter ego where, okay, this persona is a bit more confident, it's funny,
Cooler.
it's witty, it's cooler.
You're speaking from the perspective of the catfisher or the catfishy?
The catfisher.
Okay, but what about the catfishy? What makes you
Why
particularly
fishy and not just catfish?
the catfished? I suppose.
Catfished.
What makes them particularly vulnerable?
I mean, they could be. Sometimes they don't even expect it, right? Sometimes it can be a bit like cyberbullying. So, for example, the show that I was talking about, these two people didn't ask for it, right? And they are just being cyberbullied. So they're being stalked. They're being like, you know, the texts just keep coming.
For what reason, though? What was the end game? You know, what is the end game for someone that does this catfishing?
Shall I do spoiler alert for the show? I mean, everybody can go online and read about it anyways.
Spoil it. Go ahead.
So
Yeah, it's okay. It's not like it's
K-drama, is it?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Demon Hunters.
That one, no spoilers, please.
You haven't seen
But
it yet.
I've seen it.
And it's not a movie that's in a cinema or anything, so go ahead.
So this is actually a documentary, and I think Netflix does quite nice documentary. And it is about this two teens. So this girl, she was catfished for about 2 years, about 2+ years, and it turned out that her mother was the one doing the catfishing.
Oh, why?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And yeah, so there are different components. So you actually need to go and watch it to try and understand what I'm saying. So she not only catfished her daughter, but also stalked the daughter's boyfriend. And the text, if it is real, so the right at the beginning, the first page, when they screened it, they say all the texts are real, and that really got to me as I watched the whole documentary, which made me really, really sick, because the language that the mother used, how she degraded her daughter, how it was so derogatory, and it was just really uncomfortable for me to sit through all of that.
Well, was the mother lonely? I mean, what was...
Yeah,
like-
so ultimately they say, so some of these symptoms syndromes that we're talking about today, they stem from people who have been traumatized, you know, childhood trauma. They could have been abused or neglected, you know, and they have not been treated. And it's so sad because it goes down to the next generation. And in
So
this
sad.
situation, it hurt her child.
Yeah. Room once again. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Yes, we're talking about very exciting syndromes today.
Tell us more.
Fishy. Catfishing.
Yes, catfishing being the first one, but you know, I wanted to have people, have all of us have a bit of context. That's why I used a documentary. Yeah. Talking about catfishing, I think there was one in Singapore, a very famous one. Just
Oh, really?
Do you like eating catfish or not? Or you throw catfish away?
I don't know what I eat, but I just eat.
Catfishes are very dirty.
They are very... I think,
Yeah.
are they bottom feeders?
Yeah, they are. They
so,
are.
the term catfishing actually came from a documentary called Catfish in 2010, where the husband of the person who created fake online profiles shared a story about using catfish to keep live cod agile during transport, comparing his wife to a catfish for keeping him on his toes. I
Wow.
don't know. That's how it came about. I thought it would be like
interesting.
cat and
Yeah.
fish.
Oh,
So the cat
oh.
being...
Right.
know, I
Okay,
see
the cat
it.
chases
And then
after the fish.
Yeah,
Understood.
that was my
Okay.
interpretation.
Yeah.
This sounds like a
Ooh.
long shot, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I found the case. It was in December 2022. This person, Ling Rong Sing, 34 years old, and he was married, and he actually had quite a number of young women. So he catfished quite a number of young girls, mostly teenagers, mostly foreign students, to have sex with him.
Real
And
sex or what?
extort money. Yeah,
Or online?
yeah.
Real sex?
Real sex. So he would bait them online. So some of them, so these catfishers, right? They would bait them online for sometimes some gain. Yeah. So he had 31 years in jail.
Oh, there was
Wow.
also the actor Lawrence Pang, that 70-plus-year-old guy. He got scammed $35,000 from a pretty face from the Philippines,
Right.
who
Okay.
didn't exist as well.
All right.
So not only does he look a bit dumb, he is dumb.
Ayo.
So does a lack of intelligence have anything to do with being catfished? No, not at all, right?
So some for some of these, like financial catfishing, right? The victims can be quite intelligent in high places, and are quite well to do also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to Glenn's point, okay, I mean, when you think about people getting catfished, victims of catfishing, yes. I would say one of the first things that come to your mind, right, is like, hey, why are you so stupid? Why you let yourself end up in a situation? How can you be so gullible? That will usually be the first thing that comes to the mind.
Especially if you've not met the person on the other side. I mean, if you just get scammed, let's say, online without ever meeting the person,
Yeah.
then I feel like you're a bit dumb.
Yeah.
Just like that Lawrence, whatever his name
yeah.
is. Yes, I think he never met the person, I think.
No, never met.
Yeah.
Never met.
And I suppose in a case like that, I mean, these people have already, they've gone through something traumatic. When other people hear their stories and then they make fun of them or they make them feel worse, that probably adds to the trauma as well.
Probably, yeah. So the trust, the betrayal, the guilt that they feel, the embarrassment that they feel, it all compounds.
Okay,
I
so
suppose.
how would you suggest that somebody support or help someone through an episode where they've just been catfished? All right, so yes, I have just been catfished. Okay, I gave my life savings. I was lonely. Never met this girl before, but I fell for her. All right. Now you, as my friend, you come to me, but you don't want to go. Why are you so stupid, Timo? Yeah. What is the ideal way to be there as a friend, as a support person?
Just hear them out, hear the different parts, hear them share their story, their side of the story, without judgment. Sometimes it's very, very difficult because we want to judge the other person. And even when I was watching the documentary, inadvertently we want to make certain comments, and please remember to hold those comments.
But because, if this person was relating the whole story to you, right? Every step of the way is like, but how could you believe this person?
Yeah.
You've never met this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's always one excuse after another for not meeting in person, right? The person's
Yeah.
sick. Oh, I can't make it. My phone battery died. My whatever. My parent is in hospital.
Yeah, so the best way is just to listen to the person's story and then ask, what do you want to do now?
And I suppose to
Or
find
how can I help
the
you?
underlying reasons, right? Why they were so vulnerable to begin with. There had to be an issue that made them particularly susceptible to being catfished.
Sure. So if, let's say, it's a one-off, you can try and find out the reason. But if it is a pattern, I would say the victim needs to go for their own professional help.
A pattern meaning they will scam more than once?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
There are people that fall into some sort of a pattern. Yeah. So it's just one issue after another
Are they
issue.
typically people that aren't in marriages or relationships
Not
or are
true.
older? No? Okay.
Not true. So anyone can be vulnerable to it. It's not as if if you are parked in a certain situation. Maybe if you were more vulnerable, you've been abused before, you may be more susceptible, but it does not mean that it is only exclusive to this group of people.
Age range? Anybody.
Yeah,
No, you wouldn't say
anyone.
that, say, younger people are more susceptible to this kind of thing than older ones.
But the different age group can be susceptible to the romantic catfishing. The financial one may be the those with earning power,
Right.
or those retirees with a bulk of money.
Unhappy married couples, possibly as
possible
well.
as well,
Later
yes.
on, the topic is going to be, guys, are you happy with your wives? Women, are you happy with your husbands?
Okay.
Honestly, what's the problem? So sometimes, unhappy couples, they lead separate lives, and then they feel a little bit
Empty.
Looking for attention
Yes.
and looking for love.
they are targets of
Absolutely.
scammers as well.
Can
Yeah.
be also, yeah. but we're not going to go so deep into that because there's
That's deep.
no into catfishing because there's Munchausen syndrome also.
And what's that?
And it was in the past it's called fictitious disorder imposed on self, but it was just a mouth.
Fictitious or fetish?
I know.
fetish.
I heard fetishes.
Factitious.
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 Okay, not fetishes.
Not fetish.
That's what he said, not me.
No,
Don't look
that's
at
what
me.
I heard. I heard fetishous.
Yeah, but this is an interesting syndrome where you inflict pain on yourself or you inflict harm to yourself, and for attention, you fix symptoms, and you go to the doctor. Yeah, so you
this is like
literally
cutting?
hurt yourself. No, not just cutting. It could be really making yourself quite sick.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's a Munchausen syndrome. More excitingly, not so exciting, more sinisterly, the Munchausen syndrome by proxy is something that we are, in this show we actually see that. Okay, by proxy, usually we hear stories of mothers hurting their children and then bringing them to the hospital. So the children fall sick or they have some issue or other, and they would bring them to the hospital, to the doctors, and go, my child is sick again, my child fell down again, and they deliberately cause or stage that, and the child really is hurt.
So I'm just being devil's advocate. So they would hit the child and say, the child fell and stuff.
They don't.
Oh, they don't. Then
they are very sophisticated. So the child actually falls down, or they might give a little bit of a nudge. In Singapore, I think in 2020 something, there was this famous case of this 29-year-old female that actually injected her son with insulin, which caused issues for the son. The little son.
Oh no.
Yeah. And genuinely the child would display symptoms that he is ill.
Okay. So, can I just ask, what do they get out of this?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Attention, the care.
Attention from
your
who? The doctors?
supporting from people around them. Yeah. So it is quite. Sometimes you feel quite frustrated.
But why would a
and
mom
angry.
do something like that to a child?
their child, yeah.
So the mom is the one who's wanting attention, is it?
For the
That's
child,
insane.
or for themselves, or for the whole situation. I mean,
For themselves, typically for themselves. I mean, when we were studying our psychology, one of the famous cases is a mother who actually had one child die after another child, and people thought she was so poor thing until a nurse actually caught it out and say, "Hey, there's something wrong with this," and finally she was she was left with a Munchausen syndrome, and she was
how
brought
many
to court.
children did she kill? Munchausen. Is that a doctor's name or is it someone's name? Munchausen.
No, Munchausen syndrome.
Why? I mean, to me, it's like it's murder.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, it is murder.
So because she was diagnosed with this Munchausen syndrome,
Yeah.
did she get off lightly?
She did, but it was many years ago, and it was not in Asia. So I think it's either in America or European country.
Well, it's based on a literary character.
As terrible as that sound, can you imagine the kind of trauma that puts on your child as you, not only were you hurt, right? But you get older and you realize your very own parent was doing this to you. I can't imagine the kind of trauma, long-lasting trauma I would have on that child.
Does the child then have the risk of having the same syndrome growing up? Because usually traumas start from a child and then it might transfer, right?
Yeah. So possibly because it is traumatic, but the problem with Munchausen syndrome by proxy is sometimes it's not something that we can catch very easily. Yeah, and if we don't have evidence, so in our practice, I suspected someone having it because, the children were coming one after another with broken arms, broken legs, falling sick, having to go to the doctors. But there was not enough evidence for me to even call the authorities. And then she, completely stopped the children from coming, which I then have no more access to
So
the
you
children.
have not heard about them or seen from them?
No,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yeah, but even if you ask the children, they would say, "Oh, I fell down."
They're convinced.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to them, they truly, truly believe they were the ones that were naughty, or they were the ones that, got themselves into such a trouble. I can see Tim's
It was their
face like
fault.
very
Because it is.
devastated.
Because
very
it's disturbing. It's very, very disturbing, actually.
Yeah.
I'm
And
thinking about, I
that's-
have no kids, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like,
yeah.
that's an angry parent. That's a parent who perhaps maybe just looks at the kid and
Hates them.
and hates the kid
For
for some
changing
reason.
their lives and stuff, because
Yeah.
lives change
And
when
so the
you're...
only way for them to vent is to beat the living hell out of the child, which is, oh my goodness.
Oh, they don't beat
But they
the
don't beat
children.
the
They
children,
don't
that's the
beat
thing.
the children.
How do they
So-
break
so they're-
the child's
Put
arm
them
and
in
legs?
situations.
Where they will fall.
Yes, so there's so the parent themselves may have been subjected to abuse or neglect, but they don't mete out the same physical, punishment or abuse or even verbal. They appear to be very caring, very loving, very attentive to the children.
But behind closed doors.
No, they really appear to be very, very caring, but they may temper with like the stools. They may temper with
the what?
Stools, their feces.
oh.
Yeah, samples.
What?
What do you mean? What do you mean tamper with it? Why would they tamper with poo?
To
Poison them,
to
or to make them
poison,
sick.
to make them
Yeah.
sick, or to tell the hospitals or the doctors that there's something wrong with my child, and that I'm such a caring parent to bring my child to see the doctor. Yeah, so which is why I thought it was such an interesting syndrome that I wanted to bring to light, because sometimes it happens and it is not Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's not very, very obvious.
I feel like crying now. I know it's not unusual. Okay, stop it. No, don't. I cannot understand.
Yeah, we were just talking about Munchausen syndrome, right? About how parents put their kids, well, essentially try to hurt them so that they can get attention. And this is supposed to be a psychological issue, right?
Yes, it
Honestly,
is.
as a
It
parent,
is.
I know we're supposed to be trying to be understanding, empathetic with what people with their own conditions go through and all that. But
Yep.
I got to tell
Yep.
you, I'm finding it very difficult not to judge.
I'm seriously disturbed by this.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
empathy, no sympathy, no understanding for a parent who would willfully put their child in harm just so that they can get attention or validation. I'm sorry, I'm seething, guys.
Yeah, and
So
hi-
thank
hiding
you
behind
for
hiding
feeling that, because that was exactly how I felt when I
With what?
watched the documentary.
The high school catfish.
hiding behind the Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and creating that dependency. That means the child becomes very dependent on you.
We have Jeremy who has come on and said, interesting topic. Are such syndromes common locally? In such cases, how do our clinics, polyclinics manage them or report them? Does MSF step in? Does SSO? I don't know who SSO is.
The Singapore Symphony Orchestra.
I know, that's what I think he meant SOS maybe.
Social
SSO?
services.
Oh, social services
Yeah.
officers. So
Yeah.
do they?
Okay, so it's very, very difficult. So Munchausen syndrome is what you do to yourself. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is what the parent does onto the child. Yeah, so this is not very common. Like what I explained earlier, it is very masked with I'm caring for this child. My child is ill. Look at my child. So it does take a very sharp practitioner to pick it out, because there may be inconsistencies in the story. There may be once too many times that this parent and child is coming
in.
down. Yeah, so it's not very easy to pick it out.
It's
Do
a very
they-
private situation, I suppose. Happens like
Yeah.
mostly behind closed doors, I would think, at home or anywhere.
It happens at home, but then when it comes out, usually the the parent will be bringing the child to the doctors.
Do they know that this is what they're doing?
They may, good question. Actually, they may not even realize what they are doing. Yeah, they may think that, they are really caring for the child, that they are being that loving parent. And Tim is like frowning.
Yeah, because they could be.
I'm not the parent doing it.
They could be bullshitting. Seriously.
Yes.
They could just,
Be pretending.
feign ignorance and wonder, why am I doing this? And then get diagnosed with Munchausen Syndrome.
So usually the parent may have their own PTSD, may have a depression, so may have their own mental health conditions, may be neglected, may be abused before also.
But there's no excuse.
There is no
right?
excuse. There is no excuse, but that's why it is very infuriating if they don't get their own help and then they transfer that on to the next generation. And that's why I felt quite sick.
I say throw them in jail.
So when it comes to the documentary that you watched, the high school catfish.
Catfish, not musical.
Not
Catfish.
musical. Did the mother suffer from Munchausen syndrome, or was it just pure catfishing?
So she caused that dependency of the child. So it's the whole situation where she was doing the catfishing. The girl doesn't know that. The girl feels very dependent and reliant on mom because mom is going to the police, going to the school.
Complaining
and
about
saying,
herself.
And then even supporting the boyfriend's mother, while stalking the girl's boyfriend, so there's another triangulation there where the girl's mother actually is stalking the boyfriend and really so trying to break the couple apart, but also stalking the boyfriend. Yeah.
So is there help for people like this? I mean,
it is going to be a very, very long journey because you can see how deep rooted the issues are, and yes, in any sort of situation, why we are bringing it up is because people can come forward to seek professional help. All is not lost, but we don't want to get to a point where somebody gets hurt.
so help for the fished or the cat? You know what I mean? Because
both the victim and the perpetrator.
but you say the
both can be-
perpetrator, it takes a long time, right?
Even for the victim. Okay, so the third part is actually trauma bonding. There's so many things that are going on in that documentary that I was so excited to share with everyone. But the third part is trauma bonding. So you hear the daughter still very reliant on the mom, saying that she wants to see the mom, that, she is very, she doesn't have any hatred towards the mother. And many people, when they watch it, they would say, how can she have no anger towards the mother, right?
But all this to build dependency, and it worked, right? Because this girl is so dependent on her. And once again, I don't know whether I'm just being naive. I'm generally a young parent. Charlie's only 7 years old, but isn't the aim of a parent to raise their children so they will not be dependent on you? So that they will grow up to be independent and not rely on anybody.
But that's a very stable, secure person. You're speaking from that point of view. But imagine if this person is broken, this person is vulnerable also, and this person doesn't stand on very steady feet. Then that is also that reliance on the people and the most vulnerable, the next most vulnerable. Right? So that's why the perpetrator needs help to learn how to be a bit more stable, a bit more comfortable with themselves first before they can actually look after anybody else.
Where do broken
know what? No, I was gonna say,
hearts go?
Tim is very lucky because on his first go with Dr. Jerry, he's been diagnosed as being stable and secure.
Oh, thank you.
Whereas for you've just been diagnosed with ADHD.
Can they find their way home?
I don't know how stable I am. This topic has made me very, very unstable.
No, it's just...
I do want
I'm
to
also
bring
judging,
to
lah.
light, I do really want to bring to light that this is happening, and for us to keep our eyes peeled out just a little bit more on trauma bonding, the victim forms an attachment towards the perpetrator, so the abuser, and it can happen in any sort of situation. I think
Isn't there another condition?
Yeah.
The Swedish
Yeah, the kidnapping one.
Stockholm syndrome.
What?
Stockholm
Swedish,
syndrome.
yeah.
So that
The Swedish meatball syndrome. I love it. Are they from IKEA?
okay, so the Stockholm syndrome is one specific.
That's for kidnapping usually.
Yes,
yeah.
usually when someone is being held hostage.
Yeah.
So that came up when and it was coined
A particular
because,
case.
Yeah, it was a bank robbery.
Yes, yeah.
And it was in Stockholm that
Yeah.
happened in 1973. Why do I remember random nonsense?
Because you're a psychologist.
Fountain of knowledge.
and then it happened over a few days, and after that these people who were this bank officers who were held hostage didn't want to testify against
Because
their-
they became friends.
The girls, right?
they
the
felt-
girls.
no
The girls.
no not
girls
only
what?
the
No, as in
girls.
like, I thought this Stockholm syndrome
was falling
always
in love
involves
and
like a girl,
No,
falling in love
no.
with the bad boy,
It's
robber.
you start getting emotionally connected
Yes.
to the person. Could
Okay.
be guys.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn Angel and the bro Tim O together with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room because it's a Tuesday. All right, so we've been talking about catfishing and
Munchausen syndrome by
Stockholm
proxy
syndrome.
and trauma bonding. So Stockholm syndrome specific
different.
only for usually referred to hostage
situations.
Trauma bonding is for all sorts of situations, for all sorts of abuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
Stockholm syndrome is like the hostages fall in love with the person who is
possible also
holding them hostage.
Yeah.
Could just be emotionally connected as well. I mean, it could be a guy to a guy. You become
Can.
friends. That would be
Yes.
Stockholm syndrome as well, right?
Yes, yes. So, so typically you minimize the abuse. You feel, very affectionate for the abuser. You feel sorry for them even, and then you excuse their behavior.
For Stockholm syndrome.
Not
No,
only
no, no.
Stockholm, trauma,
Trauma
bonding.
bonding,
Yeah, so
okay.
Stockholm syndrome comes under trauma bonding. Yeah.
Oh, right. You
Yeah.
excuse them for what they've done to you.
Yeah, so they're very poor thing. It is, they don't mean to do it. There's always a reason, and it is the victim that is doing that.
Right.
So I saw that. I don't know about who watched the show, but I saw that in a young girl. Where there was a lot of these trauma bonding signs and symptoms.
Making excuses for her mom as to why she did what she did.
Yeah.
Did the mom go to jail at the end of it?
Yeah, so it was, I think, only for 18 or 19 months.
What's the crime though? I mean, what was she?
I cannot remember
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
I think by that time I was a little bit.
Yeah. I think you might have started on this. I just want to carry on this. For the perpetrator,
Yes.
what is the rehabilitation process like?
Yeah, so we have different sort of therapeutic methods. So it could be different theoretical frameworks that we use. It could be trauma focused work that we do also because they may have gone through their own trauma also.
Is there medication involved?
If they have depression, yes. If they have anxiety, yes. So if they do have all these, there would be medication given to them. Yeah,
So
but
they
it
would suffer from a few different things at
could
once.
be. It would not come singularly.
Okay.
But Jerry cannot give medication.
No, she's not a psychiatrist.
Not
Yeah.
psychiatrist, psychologist.
Psychologist, that's
Yes.
right. Psychologists cannot dispense medication.
They therapize.
Psychiatrists can. But do you have any other form of stimulants in your office?
He'd like to come by. It's like do some shopping.
We talk and then, okay, here's some whiskey on the rocks.
We stimulate you intellectually, Ken.
He gets bored, he'll fall asleep.
Okay, in closing.
Yeah. So we talked about so many different things, but it's really just sending out this appeal. Just keep your eyes open if you do notice any of these, which are very, very silent. Right? It's not the overt physical bullying or the verbal bullying. Raise it up to someone.
Okay.
At least somebody can try and watch out for it. So I'm going to quote Dave Pelzer, and he wrote. Dave Pelzer. So
Who's
he
that?
was abused and author. So he wrote A Child Called It and then The Lost Boy. So he wrote a series of books because he is talking about him and he was abused before. And he makes this appeal. Childhood should be carefree, playing in the sun, not living a nightmare in the darkness of the soul.
Oh, I like that quote. I also want to end with a quote, okay? This is targeted to all the parents who abuse their children under the guise of Munchausen Syndrome by proxy. To quote Liam Neeson from Taken, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you do this. But if you carry on, I will look for you. I will find you. And Glenn will kill you.
I love it. That's the big
Kill
show.
her, maybe not kill her, but punch a few times. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us. See you next week.
Yes, I'll see everyone next week.